Born in 1961 in Jaipur, Gopal Namjoshi studied art for 5 years at the Rajasthan School of Arts, Jaipur. Gopal Namjoshi, muralist, artist and installation designer, has exhibited his work in over 10 one-man show galleries within the country, and his works have been displayed in Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai and Jaipur. His recent installations of breadfruit are Tau and Bird in Gurgaon. Hello and welcome to Chaibrary. Today we have with us installation artist Gopal Namjoshi. Welcome Gopal to Chaibrary.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Lubna.
So Gopal, we know you as a public installation artist, and over the last few years you have done some amazing public recognizable works. But we also know that you have worked with various other techniques and various other styles. So give us an idea about what was happening a little before, after you left college, and what kind of work you were doing.
Everybody wants to be an artist, then you think about it, okay, what to do with, and he will face so many problems that applied art is a solution. So I also did 5 years diploma in applied art. Now you can say commercial art or a communication art. But side by side, I'm already working with different mediums
You
like
did it
watercolor.
from which college?
From School of Arts, Jaipur.
Okay.
And because of that, I teach also for 2 years. But I did so many different material that time also when I'm in college. So I see the sculpture department, they are working in a different area and other people are working in different areas. And get interaction with some craftsmen. So try that material also. So I work with blue pottery in a modern kind of work. I work with lac and other things. I work with terracotta with abstract work. So plus so many challenging things are there because they are saying it's not possible in blue pottery. You can't create a relief because that is not actual ceramic. It's a glass based kind of thing. Green glass is the binding body. So I thought nobody is saying yes. I said I will do that. Then I just created a terracotta base for it and create a height of 9 inches or something.
So when nobody said yes, you actually took the challenge.
That is a challenge. Then you started working on and you talk to and sometimes the craftsmen have better answers than the professors. The people who are working in the grassroots level, they have a proper answers how you do that and definitely every medium has their own risk. In pottery and other things, 20% breakage is there. You are creating a mural around 8 by 8 size and breakage is possible or smoke is possible. So sometimes it's luck, sometimes it's a technique because in the slow baking process also it's not so short, but work with that and I am successful with it.
So you were always interested in working with plastic materials, like working with materials rather than the canvas and all, or were you also?
Actually things came when I interacted with young architects. And the first information came to me is that he says, I have a dead wall. What is dead wall? Yeah. I do not understand. Where is the wall, alive and dead?
Okay.
So he says, I will show you. This is a dead wall in the front and you do something. What exactly you want from me? So he said, do it something like terracotta में कुछ काम किया था छोटा सा, उसको बड़ा कर सकते हैं. So I said, ठीक है. So I created that kind of thing in the pieces and fixed it up.
Okay.
Then he liked it. He says, next time कुछ और सोचेंगे. Then one by one communicated to other person, the sizes is also change every time and material is also changes every time. So my journey actually started with architects rather than the galleries and art lovers because in Jaipur there's no galleries. But there are a lot of good building and people who have international exposure are there.
Right.
So this kind of demands come, they wanted some Meenakari kind of impression on wall and this kind of things also whatever. But generally everybody says, no, I can try that also. That is the only point. So I find out that aluminum is a good medium to be a base. And there are so many stones are available in Jaipur.
Right.
It looks like a real. And third thing, with other communication, I learned that there are transparent autumn colors are available. So I use that.
Okay.
And for experimental trial, I'm successful. Then I said, yes, I can do that. So I took some time and that time in Jaipur when the Kothi is coming up, everybody has so much of time. It's not like tomorrow is a deadline or yesterday is a deadline. So
you had time to experiment and see and whether the
yes. So whatever I wanted to do, I did create that. But I tried to give some identity to their business, their perception. That is a combination, you can say, the design and art both I'm working on.
So right from after you left, because of your encounter with architects and interiors, the design element came much faster probably in your work. And I know, I believe you when you say that when people say no, you say yes, I will do this. So I think that also is important in the kind of field you are, because you're working with materials and there are so many variables, and so to kind of take the challenge on, a lot of people do not do
Actually,
that,
I
right?
convinced my father so difficult process that he should say yes that I am going to the fine arts.
Okay.
So he said one thing: if you are going to any intellectual area, you must challenge yourself after some time.
Yes. Right.
So that you decide that you have to renew yourself. Then only you will survive or you will die.
Right.
He is not a field of art. He is a bureaucrat, but he is a good reader. So he says, I've seen people who are monotonous in field and there's nothing is happening. So I took that hard line and tried that I should try this, I should try that. And people says, where is your call, you try. That I realized there's no question of call. It's a question of how you involve with the material, how you think that the material is important. And then I realized material is immaterial when you're creating something. It's not important what kind of best colors you're using or Wilson Newton you're using or something best paper you're using. It's a question what you are creating, what kind of sketch or line you have. Whatever it is, that is a Busley paper, that can be a newspaper, that can be a cardboard. But ultimately, expression of art is so important. So I followed that and work in a different medium.
So could you explain why are you saying material is not that important? Because material is what was created.
I've seen so many people who has you can say the rich kind of class, they have everything. I can give you a lot of example, like there are some photographer who has good money, they have a huge setup of 25 cameras and there are so many equipment, they can spend 30, 40 lakhs and how many photographs they took? 40. In a whole life, they took the 40 photographs. And you see the person who achieved a camera or gifted somebody, like the first professional camera is Asahi Pentax kind of thing that every student would want, and that time 5,000 is so difficult. The people who work with that kind of cameras is creating
Come up with
wonder.
brilliant results, yeah.
So actually, the tool you have to be a part of your expression, whatever tool you are using, whatever is but is thing, and then everything has one limitation. Whatever the latest camera also has a limitation. So if you know the limitation of material, you can cross that line
Cross
sometimes.
that line, break the barrier.
Yeah.
So coming to murals that you did for the first many years of your life, give us an idea about some of the projects you did. How did that start? Like, large scale mural projects.
Actually, because of gold medalist, I offered a job in School of Arts.
So
And,
you passed out with a gold medal
yes.
in your diploma.
So because of topper, they offer me, and there are very few people in that time in applied art field. So he says, why don't you join us? So then I applied and take the process of 3-4 months and the government process, and then I am joined there in School of Arts. So I have a time in the evening and I have a circle also. And in the small town, is one good thing is happening. There are only few places where you intellectuals can meet. There are not so many areas. There's not so many styling happening. So coffee house is a place. Then you can meet architect, you can meet a writer, you can meet a correspondent, and you can meet all this kind of people. So that somebody unknown came to me and he says, again what I'm saying, this dead wall, I should start that. Then one after another, then interior designers, then something is happening. And with this experimentation, I created some different techniques also. So and somebody told me that whatever you do, frame बिकता है दुनिया में. I didn't like that.
Okay. What do we do? Frame बिकता है.
Frame बिकता है, painting कुछ भी हो, golden frame चमकता हुआ होगा, बड़ा सारा border का, बढ़िया glass में बिकता है. So I said, I will remove this frame. I will use the wall space. So I started using the wall space in different heights, and I still use that sometimes.
Right. So any of a project during your mural making years, which is a fond memory of yours, of the project that you still look back very fondly?
There are so many. One is this blue pottery. I can't repeat that, I know that. But that time somebody asked me ready to pay the amount, and I'm not so sure that I will do that. So he says the cash is there, you can pick. I'm like, I will not pick today. Give me a week's time. After a week, I said I will do that. So that kind of thing, you're creating a beer mug, and from this, that kind of factories are there, and things is changed. Then I always try कि कुछ हो जाए, but that is some landmarks are there. That is the one of them.
Okay.
Because this is very different material and there is a lot of scariness. Everybody is saying it's not possible. One thing, second thing, बना भी लिया तो bake नहीं होएगा, टूट जाएगा. So उसके बाद I did 2 more murals in that medium, but see the difference, see the variations of it, and realize that we should work on different colors, that everything research and institutions are required to get more colors on this kind of medium. There are very few. So that is one landmark. Then different sizes I'm working on, and one by one detailed. Majorly works on abstract, but somebody
So
sometimes.
you did these murals for like about 10 years almost.
Yeah, around 12 years or something. First is the paintings, then I had shows also in Collage Milan 2005 at Habitat Center. So that time also I say the simplicity is the most important. So minimal expression I wanted to work, and I wanted to work with the spirituality because earlier I worked with the Tantra, and that is also happening because of design. I am so fond of triangles. So I created so much arrangement of triangles, and somebody says this form looks like a Tantra. Mega Tantra is so bad thing, I don't want to follow that. So Sika, how can you say that is a bad thing? There's a system, Tantra is a system. So he gave me some books. I read them and realize what people say Tantra Mantra is something different and what is actually something very, very different. So I created a Sumeru Parvat and all these paper things on paper, then on canvas.
Yeah.
And that time nobody is realized what I'm doing, and I thought I'm not able to communicate what is happening. One fine day, one foreigner came in kurta pajama and says he wants 6 paintings.
Okay.
So price is already declared, this is the money, and you remove this frame and roll it and give it to me as fast as possible. I give it to him, and then I ask him why you are purchasing this. He smiles, he says, I am the head of department at Cornell University at the Asia development area. So I know what you are painting, I know what is there and what is the religion, Hinduism, I read everything. So this is my collection, and one of the painting I will put in the university. So that is the biggest boost when you are working as a young artist and somebody is recognize your work.
Appreciating on its own.
That gives you the direction that you should work more.
So how did this big change in public installation art came about? And
Actually, you can say something is funny story because I started with some sketching groups and all things. So we created something in middle of the road one day. So I said, what you're doing when I'm doing it just for the public. So that is the first point. Then my field is advertising. I have to work, I have to earn money. The first job, second job, third job, this is happening in so many areas. Then I decided to create my own agency. I'm working on it. I'm happy I'm
you were having your own advertising agency at that
Yes.
time.
So it's a design studio, but yes, it's a more or less advertising agency because I'm publishing that also. And I have a studio in Jaipur. So the time, whatever I get, I'm working on it. So all these friends says ki this is now you have a final stage, you are a designer and you have to be happy with it. I said, if this is so, I wanted to leave this as fast as possible. So I'm married. Lina says, then you drop it right now. This is my wife. She's also right now you drop it. My daughter बहुत छोटी है, but this is the only time you can shift. ये बड़ी हो जाएगी तो कुछ नहीं कर पाओगे.
That's a very wise of her
So
and
I'm
also very supportive.
Yeah, it's a big thing, and we thought about it for a day. And second day she said, yeah, I'm getting a job in Delhi. You should follow. So I'm in Delhi, but I see the different problems because in Jaipur the daughter is safe. There are so many people to handle it. In Delhi you have to exercise again. So that mural thing gave me life. There are old contacts. They give me more contacts on their basements. And I did the first meeting with my 2-year-old daughter in McDonald's, Vasant Kunj, as a business meeting
For the
next.
Saket one?
Yes.
Okay.
No, for the Vasant Vihar one. For the next mural contract with different designers. So then things are rolling on. Then she says, these all murals will be in the public places. Why don't you create a sculpture? I go, okay, I can think of. Then I thought that artists and people are not so comfortable to go into the gallery and see the works. They can't, and they cannot judge if this is good or bad because they don't have any practice of looking at work. So I read about Detroit that they created the sculptures first in the city. Because of that sculptures, there has a mileage, and people the property cost up, and people are coming. So that is in my mind. So I started thinking of it. I thought I will create something big, and then I talked to Saket Mall. We both tried to be, and they are agreed on giving the cost. The first recycled tree I created put around 85 feet. And that is
that's in the atrium of the Saket.
Atrium of the Saket, and that displays for a month.
What was the subject, and how did you choose that topic?
I just wanted to say that whatever you're throwing, that can be beautiful. that can be
So
good.
what are the materials you use
So I
there?
used all kind of things like a flex and vinyl pieces, thermocol.
Okay.
There are iron structure inside, but recycled paper. Then I added the Chinese lights also, and try to be interactive. Branch by branch, you can change color. But seeing the crowd response, everybody wants to change the color. I remove that, but yes, that is possible at time. And the response is so good after that. I received so many business also, responses also. Even they wanted to talk to me what is possible in a smaller or bigger way. So I created a different things.
So Gopal, I wanted to ask you this at this point of our discussion, that there are a lot of installation artists using different materials, but what draws you to scrap material, to junk material that people do not look at and they will not even give a second glance? What is it about that that draws you? And I know you, and you can pick up a small piece of junk and actually imagine a beautiful bird around it, and you have an immense amount of imagination, which I think very few people will have. But what is it that draws you? I mean, how did this come about in your ethos that I will do something beautiful and aesthetic and artistic with junk?
There are two processes. One friend has helped me to get my work one time in a computer studio. That time computers are rare, costly. There are so many things are required,
Right.
and there's so much of faith in me. Even I don't know him very well, so I thought I must do something for him. So he says, "No, no, I will not take painting or something." So I asked him, "What you have all?"
Huh.
So you get all the material, you maybe heard about it. There are thick floppies in 5 MB that time. There
Yes.
is no pen drive is available, and keyboard. So I created a mouse and created a man with a hard disk, and it's around 5 by 8 feet kind of mural for him.
Okay.
And everybody is so happy with that. So that is the first thing I
First time
created. Yeah,
you realized that.
that is in 97 or 98. But I didn't realize that I have to work with this more. So I drive a scooter that time, and I just wanted to check if there is some problem. So I go to the mystery. I said, try it. So there are some shockers are there, and Johnny Walker bottle I can see from distance.
Okay.
So I thought I must create these legs with these shockers.
Okay.
So there are some brack paid or something, whatever it is. So I said, I'm just arranging it. So he says, this I can weld. I go, what is welding and how is this possible? So I took more two things also. You can this also add. But no. That is aluminum. That will not weld. So
That's why you're also learning
so
about
I
the
also learned
thing.
there are some few things, some good things. So I did that. I kept it in my house, but I forgot to work on it. Then I read so many things changing in this atmosphere and happening, this happening, that happening. So I thought, why not create this awareness and talk about the green sculptures? So again, I go and try to get some material, and nobody's ready to give. So I talk to this person. He says, with this kind of dressing as a gentleman, nobody will give the material.
Okay.
So
All
because
right. That's interesting, isn't it?
because they think you are searching your car or scooter or something, or you are a police person.
Okay.
So I changed my attitude. I tried to be normal, and
You change your attire, you change your
yes,
attitude so
and
that you're
take the
more
contact
acceptable.
person along with me. Then day by day the things are happening, and I created one or two sculptures. Side by side, I get offer also with a smaller thing. That is also a surprise for me because he came to talk to so many people, and he says, there's a phone call, can I come and meet you? And go, why not? Any day, I'm a simple man. He says he's looking for it. But I don't have this size you are talking about. I don't have right now. These are very small pieces I have just arranged. Well, don't you worry about it. I know you can do that because 2-3 people recommended you. I go, who? Well, I will tell you later. Then I created the first cow with all this material.
Okay.
And because nobody is giving material in Gurgaon, I created in Jaipur.
Okay.
So that is transported and shown to the person. Then we had a round of this area, Taj Damdama, and create more works.
So in Taj Damdama, you did a thematic range of installations. So what was it like, and what was the theme like, the narrative that you created?
But actually we lose something, what I believe so. Like at my home, अगर आप दूध का पतीला खाली भी हो गया है तो उसमें आटा गूंदेगा, उसमें पानी डाला जाएगा. We will not throw that, right?
Yes.
So we are using the maximum thing. This use and through techniques or pressure or style came from the other country, and we are following it very fast. So I just wanted to recall it one thing. So idea is from abstract to realistic. Ki whatever surrounding we have to observe what is that. and work on it. And the nature is the thing that appeals you. And nearby what you had, cows, goats, some flower, cranes and other things and birds. So that
And
is
you
the
create that.
focus. So I
It's
created
a
around,
wonderful project.
and they also liked it and they said, "Ki, theek hai, this is the lump sum amount we can give," and we discuss about it, and the whole freedom I have, what size I want. If I said, "Ki, this is the flock I want, this size," I said, "Okay, done." Just I have to draw it, and they are agreed on it, and things are happening.
You also did a very good, interesting project for IIT. I think two IIT campuses, and that project is still on. As in terms of those installations are still there. How do you think after years? How do people respond to whom you talk to? The students respond to the environment because this is special. This is art in a very serious, so-called serious environment where art is imbibed into it to enable, I guess, the students to have a more stress-free lifestyle. So give us an idea about that
Actually,
particular
after
project.
Taj Damdama, there are so many inquiries. I sold some of the sculptures. Then I thought I must create a body of sculptures and talk to Alka Pandey and Habitat Center because I want an open space. Again, I want that the people, walking person also can see that
See
he
it.
should not enter in the gallery and see the lighting and the focus. This is in general light anybody can watch. So that's give you a lot of coverage in the media. Automatically, people come and see that and responded on it. And I met so many people who are in the field and they think that this is one of the best thing. That news goes to IIT also, and they approach me via net. Okay, it's difficult to find out your number, but can you come and meet us? Then they says कि IIT's study is very, the student feels so much of pressure. We lost smile sometimes. So can you change a little bit? And I can try. So that is the first workshop I did. And
Can you bring smiles back to the students
Yes.
because they are under so much pressure?
Yes, definitely, because you see that in IIT people there, even on Sunday they have a class. Even professors are so passionate to teach them.
Right.
So you just ask them in the night also they are working on something. So this is the workshop they are asking me, and then they want कि दो installation भी बनाए जाए. So I thought, what should I do with them? So I searched out what their material they have. So they have so many air meters lying around. There are so much of cycle scrap is there because in IIT students only can have cycle. So third thing is cement blocks they have to experiment what kind of quality as a strength, and so that is also there, and plus electronic waste. So I decided that IIT is what is excellence. So I have to create a pillars of excellence. So I created a 3 towers with the light, and that is the most selfie point till
Most
date.
selfie point is beautiful. Actually, it looks so gorgeous. For the first, when you see the image, you don't even realize that it's made out of recycled or junk material for a second.
And second is a tree. I asked them because there are so many trees are there. And I asked create your tree. That is a doodling tree. They painted so many drums, and one of them also said कि मेरे से नहीं होगा, तेरे से नहीं होगा. तो उसे लिख भी देती है तुमसे नहीं हो पाएगा. So that is also one of the expressions they are free to talk about. And
Right.
then I said, sit under this tree, do the doodling, get the ideas. Because
So you got the idea from them.
yes, so this is the process because when you are doodling something, you get the idea. So the things, because she is doodling, what are you doing? Well, I'm not so clear what will I do. Okay, this is the right thing, so I should convert this as
Into that.
Yeah.
Another important aspect, I know that you have in your practice and lifestyle as an artist always want to make art accessible. Like you mentioned in India Habitat Center, you wanted people to see it. It's not should be into the gallery space. And when you come upon projects like this where art is put into an education institution. So taking a break and asking you another question related to how does, because still we are pretty elitist about art and it is secluded, siloed in certain areas of the ecosystem. So how do you think we can make art more accessible?
Actually, it's a privilege when you are slightly famous.
It's a privilege when it's like
Yeah, because it's a luxury for me or Subodh Gupta or other people because the selling price is already decided. They can go anywhere in any corner and they can create something the people think that is valuable. Otherwise, if you start with the corner and working on it and not going to the gallery, people may be not paying to attention.
That's a very important point.
So I want to dilute this thing, but still that exists. I hope this will remove after some time and things are happening in a different area. Plus in public area, people think is a public property. They don't care about it. They don't, and the copy is the biggest thing. We have a spaces. Last 5 years, so many things are happening, but you can find out the 70% is inspired by Pinterest.
Pinterest. Okay.
So that is the point. We have so many things. Why we are copying? Why you are giving suggestion that you artist you do this and you don't do that?
Right.
It's better to give him a space and amount, X amount. He will create whatever he want. You select people, 10 people, 15 people, 30 people, whatever the criteria you decided. So that is another changing point. Is possible for the public
So
art.
you mentioned, of course, if it's an installation by Gopal Namjoshi, then it just adds to the effect, and people will come to see. So the other question that you little touched upon is, so this installation is done, this large public installation is done, inauguration happened, media has covered it, and then it is subject to the weather and to the climate, and how do you think do public, is it really appreciated over long periods of time? Have you had experiences where it's well kept, because it needs to be conserved, maintained, appreciated for longer time? It is obviously a permanent installation. So what is your experience on that?
Actually, in India, we have to learn. We can create a very good house for ourselves. But when it comes to repair, it's so difficult for us. The same thing is happening if you go to the Germany. If you will find out 70 years old or 80 years old, some sculpture is well maintained. The color is also repainted. They will remove the proper things. The consciousness about the art is so powerful. They respect so much. In India, what do you think? If you're creating a tau, they will try कि सब हुक्का उखाड़ के कर लेना है तो कैसा रहेगा?
Okay.
I've seen this everywhere. Even you saw any Lal Kila or other, people are trying to get smaller this kaach ka tukda. What will they do with that? But they want that. They will put all the energy in it to get it. And they don't think that something is there, they are doing something wrong. Or they did not pay respect. Like, I love Gurgaon, I love Delhi, I love this. Who the original artist from New York, nobody wants to mention his name.
Okay.
Is this his idea?
Right.
And you are all copying it. Why can't you say
I love
that
New York, yes.
in respect of this artist? So if somebody is a creator, you must give some importance to him.
So we have a long way to go in terms of making art accessible, people appreciating it,
I
public.
think this is lack of art education.
Lack of art education. We'll come to that. So I want to go back to some of the other public installations I wanted to cover. So you have two landmarks around Gurgaon itself, which is, one is the Tau and another is a huge bird. So how did this narrative come about, and what was your idea behind creating these two? And give us an idea.
I appreciate and happy that there is a new community who is thinking that city, we must improve this city because we are living in it. So
That's happening in Gurgaon.
That is happening in Gurgaon. So I am Gurgaon and other people are trying to improve that, and because the entry point is so worst, so they are thinking. So they are thinking, and there are people who are ready to finance them also. Then they get my name with friends and other people, and they came to me. I don't know that they wanted something, and they asked me what to do. That is so sure that what the material using, you should use that. But what you want to make, let us know. So I read that area so much, and I find out that there is an eagle owl that came back after 8 years in that area. So I thought that is the balancing point between the nature and the industry. Because if the bird came back, it means that they still think that it's a good habitat to live on. So if person can think of good habitat to live on, the bird also can think of. So I created that eagle owl in a good size, because that should be visible from road.
Right.
And that is a milestone for the Gurgaon.
Right. It's a beautiful milestone. Nobody can miss that. And what about the Tau?
Generally, we are talking about so many things, but the father figure and there are two factors. We believe that father figure is always give the direction and the hard rules and whatever the conditions. And the mother side give a lot of affection and weakness, and there are so many things you can express, you can lie down. So I thought I would create both of the sculptures. And I put a lot of energy in this creating a Tau first, because there is sort of so much of character in it, and I can use it first. Again, the people notice that is not completed. They said we can ask, this is a beautiful sculpture that should be get a proper place. Then the exercise began, and there are 3-4 places and finalized. I must give credit to GMD also, because they are generous to give us a lot of places, and then finalized on IFCO chalk. ask the designers also, architects also to design that place and then work on it and fix it up.
So will there be a Thai in Gurgaon?
I wanted that the crowdfunding should be there. I'm ready to work on it. That because I wanted to work on it. It's not just a male gender kind of thing. That should be another figure. And plus a college going girl because that is also inspiring. Because art is, public art is giving you a subtle hope and
Indication.
impression and uh, that can be have a space inside you, inspire you so many times. Like IIT, just you're talking about. I ask you why you are taking so much of photograph. Well, this will be in my memory for a longer period. I live this moment. So that is whenever you are in college, you like that chai ki thadi or something, whatever it is. So you live with that moment. So why don't we can create a better memory for everyone?
You mentioned crowdfunding. So coming to funding and coming to public art, I wanted to touch that topic again. So public art, first of all, the scale of it and the fact that it's in a public area. Sometimes maybe the traditional galleries might shy away from commissioning or promoting such art because it might not be scalable for them. Sometimes it's probably maybe because it's for commercial reasons. So what has been your experience and what is, in your opinion, we can do as a country to promote public art? Because when we go in other countries, we have such a strong public art aesthetic. As you correctly said, in Detroit, the city itself also gets promoted. What, in your opinion, we should do as a community and in the society?
This is a good example in Gurgaon, Camera Museum.
Yes.
It's crowdfunded and government support, both of the things. This model can work and galleries can be a tool to the operational model. They can talk to the several corporates, they can talk to the artists, even this group or a team can talk to the government for the particular place. And if they have a good space, if there is a restaurant, there is a public art installation, there is some basic facilities like there are so less women toilets in everywhere. So you can combine all these things. You can give whenever you are giving the contract for that food and
For the
restaurant.
whole project and have that in
For the restaurant, you are just charging. Every government charges that.
Right.
So you are charging. You should include this maintenance of everything. The place will be fine. There is a parking. You can go sit, observe art. You can interact with that, and then can come back. So that is the part gallery or any people can work on. Because artists can't go everywhere begging everybody to please help. If there's a team and there's a concept, now is the time you can get money from India and even from the abroad.
You think this is the good time
Yeah.
to...
You have to think about it. You should collaborate with different people also. I'm also thinking to collaborate with something people. Sometimes I don't find it. You can talk to the engineers, you can talk to the other people. You have to see that model who is working as a Burning Man festival. There is a team.
Right.
There are 10, 11 people team going there to work on. They are all different. One is doctor, one is engineer, one is that. Why can't we think of it? Why we are still sitting in their own rooms and don't want to talk to anybody else?
and not think out of the box ideas on how to...
So maybe initially you are not agreed on one idea, but ultimately, if one is a thought leader, other people at least help them to follow that. That is the best part.
Which are the cities you're seeing a trend in actively having public art and promoting it or trying to promote? Do you see any trend in any of the
Bombay
cities?
is still better.
Okay.
One way, but yes, there is so much of political space is already acquired, or people by the business people is acquired. We have to think of space like we are thinking of good thematical parks. Why we are not thinking that installation with the parks?
With the parks, yes. I mean, art as a part of
Yes.
the package in each and every public
Yes.
projects in town
Yes.
planning. That itself will give it a lot of space.
Because everybody can connect to everything. The work is abstract in Maruti showroom. It's a good size.
Correct.
The person came to me and asking me, you did that? He's a puncture wala across the road. He says, रात को बहुत अच्छा लगता है, मैं काम को छोड़ के आ बैठता हूँ. So aesthetics is a human being tendency. It's nothing to do with education sometimes.
Right, you're right.
And sometimes you can improve with education. You can't
Right.
pour in with the education, but you can improve with the education.
Yeah, yeah.
So that is my idea, to give something better life, that reduce some tension in this world and
Yes.
to work on different areas.
And also, I want to now touch upon the topic of sustainability. Right now, in the corporates, there is something called ESG, where environment and sustainability and governance, where this can be, if it can be inbuilt. Do you think that can also work in encouraging the corporate sector to come up with recycled art?
Sustainability is nowadays a fancy word.
Okay.
because people are not following it. One thing, like you see, there are so many Coca-Cola bottles and other bottles, not only one company lying everywhere. You just start a buying back scheme. Like earlier, there's a beer bottle is sold in 2 rupees.
Yeah.
So if you decide some price, and you can add that price when you are selling it, so you will not find any bottle anywhere. Similarly, everything you are using, wasting so many papers, and then you are saying, no, no, we are just conscious about everything. Why you are wasting it? Why you want everything in the print? If there is everything is available in your computer, you don't need so many prints. So that my point is that is a lifestyle you have to work on, and even the artists also think about it.
Could you explain that a little more?
Like FRP is not good for the atmosphere. It's worse than that plastic, and everybody is using it. One thing you are saying that you are working on this with scrap, but you are cutting so much, you are welding the material, you are polishing it, and then working on it.
You're using
So
power.
you already put 10 times energy on it, and then creating a sculpture. So but then why not a new one?
That's a very good point.
And second thing, this is just like my work. I'm not recycle; it's upcycle.
It's upcycle.
So
You
I
have the
yeah.
products and you upcycle
So I'm
it.
using the whatever the technique is only just in a welding spot. You can see the welding spot. I do not trying to grind them and finish it in them or something. That is a part of my character in the sculpture.
Could you explain the difference between recycle and upcycle?
Uh, there is a cycle involved when you're saying the recycle. I select material in one area, then I wash them, I did something else, and then the material came in a different area. Is
In different
upcycle is already whatever the available. I'm using it directly. I'm not going through any process.
So upcycle is sustainability.
Much more.
Yeah, much more. Yeah. But then again, as you're saying, as an artist, you have to imbibe the principles of sustainability to be really sustainable in your practice itself also. Or
Yes, exactly. Because if you want to follow that sustainable mindset, then only you can create a sustainable work. Because if there is no such sustainable mindset, then nothing is happened.
right, right, right.
Right? आप एक केले का छिलका भी प्लास्टिक की थैली में पैक करके फेंकोगे, there's no use of it. This you can throw it easily in any gamla. This will dry and mix it up in the clay any day.
Right.
But that plastic bag will stop it.
Correct.
You want something is everything is neat. The neat is not plastic. Neat is you can wash your hand.
That's a nice one. True. So what you are also saying is that sustainability sometimes is now getting used as a statement rather than really imbibing the principle. It could be that it's, there is contradiction there that can happen.
I feel so because there are so many people are claiming that they are using this material, but the energy they are putting in that is more than actual new material. Then there is no use of it.
That's a very important point here.
Like
Give us an example.
I'm wearing these shoes. This is costly. They say this is with the bottle.
Okay.
But the
bottle
process is so when I read everything, it's a very, very long process. They increase the cost when they are selling. I'm happy with it. At least they are reclaiming it and they are using it. But simple process are there. You just powder it when the bottles are there. All ceramic artists are ready to buy. All this kind of industry is ready to buy because that is a glass glaze. If you crush that bottle, everything is usable.
That's true.
And most importantly, you should divide all this what you are throwing, including industries. They are talking about this, but when they are working on their waste, they are not doing anything. There are chemicals, you can do them filter. Then they can go to the waste drain. But you didn't use any filter in it. Then it goes directly and the soil is wasted.
Yes.
Because it's not visible, that is the only point.
Absolutely. I mean, I think we just like to tag ourselves to words like sustainability without really understanding what it is. And you're somebody who has worked with this in your practice for 20 years. You really can actually demystify it for others too. So coming to the art education, I think one part that I think we owe it to our next generation is to have this conversation about sustainability for sure. A couple of other things I wanted to discuss. One was this beautiful installation that we had of yours in India Art Fair in 2022, which was in the Museo Camera booth. And tell us about that. How did it come about? What are the parts you used? And what was the narrative there?
Actually, my whole work idea is coexistence. You can't blame one person to do he's destroying his thing. So when I work with these animals, I talk that if they survive, will survive. Similarly, when I see after COVID, there are so much of lacking in emotion and other things. I thought I must create a person who can hug them. So plus a cameraman, including this show, they get you the best out of you. But so many people didn't know their name.
Yeah.
You just remember that photo in 15 years back or 20 years back. Oh, बहुत अच्छा photo था. किसने खींचा?
Right,
You don't know
absolutely.
them.
Absolutely.
So I thought that I must give the face to the cameraman. So I talked to Aditya. He says, I have so many cameras. So I created that memory, and whatever the good or bad memory or image you have is a photograph.
Right.
इसके अलावा कुछ है नहीं. So I thought that should be a presentation. And the person, when you are hugging, you're with all good memories you can connect.
Right.
So that is a part of it, and I created that.
That was such a wonderful installation because also what you said was there, that hugging bit, which I think the number of selfies that were taken in front of it has broken some record. And also it was interesting for me to see that you work with recycled materials or discarded materials. And here is this camera that we have kind of over a period of 2 decades. The analog camera is almost kind of discarded, it's gotten archival. And that was also for me a statement, actually bringing that back into our forefront. I mean, we hardly see cameras like that,
Yes,
what the museum collection has, and making that so beautifully. And okay, so any other project that you really remember and fondly that you would like to talk about related to this public art installation?
Actually, sometimes you don't want to work on some projects. Like I
Okay.
receive a call that from a good company, Maruti, कि we want to create an installation, and that should be important because we already created a record and you can help us to give thanks to the people. I said, don't want to work, the middleman. So why? I know advertising, they will put so many bright, colorful boards, and whatever the artwork is gone somewhere else. Well, just listen to them. So I go on to talk to these people. They says, we want to celebrate actually, this is not advertising. So मैंने कहा मिठाई बांटते हैं आप चॉकलेट बांट दो तो उसने कहा वो दैट इज़ अ गुड आइडिया यू जस्ट क्रिएट अ गुड कार्ड विद द चॉकलेट्स मैंने कहा आप अपनी गाड़ी काट के लोगों को खिला दोगे so he says no it's not correct. Then I created a cityscape as a model.
Okay.
And show them because the model is good for me with every project. That's give me the basic idea. Then I can sometimes modify that also, but that is a basic 3D imagination is always good. Then work on, because then I realized that famous brand is selling and people are eating as a chocolate is made by vegetable oil.
Okay.
I will not claim the name, but this is happening.
Okay.
And whatever the Diwali time you are announcing that you should give the chocolate is a vegetable oil, nothing else. So we researched on it, we created a small packets, we install in front of public, and that is a 1 million mark I have to create in public also, and that second that is distributed. Then the name came to the Limca Books of Records. I never thought in this direction, but this happened.
Wow. This is which year?
5 years back.
Okay, that's amazing. That's amazing. What next in your mind? What is, because you mentioned to me that when you were in college itself, you always wanted to make large installations. That was somewhere back of your mind always. What's a dream project that you would like to?
I would like to have a big space so I can redesign it, and that should be experience for everybody. That should be in 4 or 5 acres that people can go and have a relax and talk about it and move around it. You've seen Henry Moore's sculptures. People go and sit there for a while.
Right.
They have a sun bath and everything is there. I just want a calm and quiet space with the art. They can feel better in their life.
Wow, that hopefully one day that will also happen. And so coming to art, what does art mean to you?
Art is a lifestyle. I just not understand people think only with a drawing room painting. Because when I did show, I designed table. I designed furniture also. Because long back when I have a studio in Jaipur, there's a old Almira black. So I thought I must paint something. So I painted one Safa wala Rajasthani, and then one is Gujari is there. So I like that. So I thought I must create, because life it's not like that. This is the costly painting. I have to put it, buy it first, and then this can go to the store. I don't want that. I want that people should enjoy that work every day. So art is a lifestyle for me. That should be a part of your everyday communication.
Part of your everyday communication.
Yes.
And art and design is a part of our life, and you don't see anything different from another that way.
Yes.
Great. And what about your opinion about this platform, Chaibrary?
I must thank all of you and the Chaibrary platform because that is the only way you are talking about deep about art and artist. It's not in fancy, it's an in-depth kind of program. So I'm really thankful to both of you. Thank you so much.
That's great. Thank you so much, Gopal. It is always such a pleasure talking to you and understanding your ideas. And yes, one day maybe that 5-acre public place where people can enjoy your art will happen. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Chaibrary. Do subscribe our channel. Continue to give your love and support. Do not forget to press the bell icon for more updates. Until we meet again, this is Lubna Sen. Take care.